Hello. Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, March the 27th, and we are here to look at the new releases that are being set into the wild this week. And we do that genre by genre each day of the week. And on Wednesdays, we look at romance. I have looked at some. I haven't completely prepped, but the pickings are kind of scarce, so I've been widening the definition a little bit here while we've been waiting to go on. Put that there for a second. All right. Hope you had a good night. Hope you're going to be having a good Wednesday. Um, it's okay if you're not watching it first thing this morning live. I do repost this, so you can watch this at any time. Quick announcements. Being Wednesday, I don't have any sprints tonight. I do those on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday afternoons at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So tonight you are free. And tomorrow's morning show will be about fantasy and science fiction. Hope that covers it all. Good morning, Mary. Happy Wednesday. Romance is in the air. Yep, hopefully in the books too. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Let me get rid of this. I am hopeful too. Let it start here. And we'll see what happens. A gamble at sunset, betting against the Duke. Oh, May. See? Beautiful Vengeance. What's that one? Is this a re-release? This is a re-release from 2017. We are off to a smashing start. No sneaking in. Between Never and Forever, the Hardy Billionaire Brothers series. Looks kind of safe. Between Never and Forever, it has kind of that Colleen Hoover kind of cover. As my best friend's brother, Dex Hardy has always been my downfall, older, forbidden, and completely irresistible. Our paths were never supposed to cross, but they tangled irrevocably during those summer nights where we exchanged forevers and I love yous under the stars, in secret. He knew it had to be that way. Yet he betrayed our relationship the moment he made it public. So I left him broken-hearted in order to save us both. Save you from what? So what if it... There's probably issues. Years later, to help my family financially, I signed a 6-month contract to perform within the Black Diamond Resort and Casino. It should be easy. But Dex Hardy is now the cold, ruthless billionaire tycoon who owns it. Karma. And he wants revenge. When he finds out I have a ring on my finger, he makes his own deal with me. Leave a man I don't love and get engaged to him instead, or else. 6 months of calling Dex my fiance, even if he stares at me with hardened eyes. 6 months of ignoring his electrifying touches and pretending I don't love him when I still do. The problem with faking this engagement is I'm starting to believe in forever with him. Yet, as more truths come to light, my fiance may never want that with me again. What a mess. Sorry, I'm calling it like I see it. Not my cuppa. It is definitely, that's kind of what the younger generation, and I hate to say generational things, because reading isn't generational, but it's kind of generational. Community board. Oh, that's April. For the paperback. Did this come out earlier? It did. It came out last year. This for baseball, we're batting what, 200? Corbin's Fancy. But I think this is a re-release too, because there's another version of it. 1991. We're on the Wayback Machine. You never have to be, have I read any? I don't believe I have. I've heard so much about them, and I believe they are Kindle Unlimited, so I was kind of tempted at one point. But I have a hard time with romances. They have to be a very a lot of elements have to fall into place for me. Well, that's a cute title. Damned if I Duke. Drop Dead Dukes by Anna Bradley. Second in a trilogy, it looks like. A sensible duke wants a dutiful duchess. A rakish duke wants no bride at all. But a truly wise man knows the pleasure of finding a wife who's his match in every way. Bold and adventurous, Prudence Thorne is not the kind of woman to stand by meekly when someone she loves has been wronged, and she's quite certain that Jasper Vincent, Duke of Montfort, somehow duped her father into racking up enormous gambling debts. When fate offers her a chance to blackmail Jasper into forgiving her father's losses, she seizes it, only to have her scheme backfire. Jasper enjoys London's illicit delights too much to wed. Too bad his grandfather has decided that a woman with the nerve to blackmail might be exactly the sort of wife to tame him. Right. Pressed into a marriage neither wanted and fighting a desire neither expected, Prue and Jasper torment and tempt each other beyond reason. Surely a proper duchess should be subdued, obedient, and dignified. Yet just as he begins to get his wish, Jasper realizes how much he wants his unconventional wife, and only her, if it's not too late to win her. Yeah, look at that cover. She's got a face that says, "Yeah, you think. I'll let you get away with it, but then I'm gonna kill you in your sleep." I might not be in a mood for romance today. Sometimes you're in the mood for this stuff. Here says, I haven't either, but they sure seem to be hot with people. I know. I am the same way. Prefer Regency based romances. There has to be, I like, well, I won't say exclusively historical. I do prefer historicals and I prefer them in my mysteries as well. But there has to be an intelligence and pain is not love. Deborah says, good morning. Good morning. Mary says, hi, Deborah. Hi. We're being snarky about romances. I hate to do that because there's books for everybody and we shouldn't do that. And authors worked a lot to do that, but sometimes needs must. All righty. Falling for Alaska by Belle Calhoun. Don't miss the first trip to Moose Falls, Alaska, where a down on his luck football player and a sassy restaurant owner find themselves going from enemies to lovers in this small town romance. There's another thing I have an issue with. This enemies to lovers trope is misused. They're not enemies if they don't like each other. Enemies has a specific definition. Like in, say, fantasy romance, there are warring kingdoms, and yes, they are enemies. But just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you're enemies. Okay, stepping off my soapbox. A small town restaurateur and a big city former football player go head to head, blah, blah, blah. As the oldest of three brothers, former pro football player Xavier Stone is no stranger to making tough calls, like returning to his small hometown of Moose Falls, Alaska to help run his grandmother's hard cider company and gastropub. A cider company. Where do they get the apples from? It's Alaska. I know things grow in Alaska, but I would think that's kind of a natural situation where apples don't really grow that well. They must ship them in, which is very expensive. He agrees to keep an open mind. I should too. I get it. Okay. But between working with his estranged father and confronting heavy childhood memories with his brothers, Xavier's ready to rush back to civilization. Even the stunning woman who runs his grandmother's restaurant seems to instantly dislike him. True Everett knows better than to let a ridiculously handsome man distract her, especially when it's the same guy who stands between her and owning Northern Exposure, the tavern she manages. She didn't pour her soul into the restaurant just for Xavier to swoop in and snatch away her dreams. But amid all the barbs and fine, all the sparks flying, True glimpses the man beneath the swagger. That version of Xavier, the real one, might just steal True's heart. Surprised they didn't do a pun on true love. Maybe it's in the book. The perfect guy doesn't exist. Jibber says it's going to be a busy day. Haircut, trip to recycling drop off, and vet for one dog. Oh, a lot of running around. Hopefully the streets and everything are okay. Mary, how did the mopping and cleaning go? I was hoping you were able to get it all cleaned up without too much trouble. We are ahead of it. I took Monday afternoon off and did some more of the um, carpet cleaner sucking up until I couldn't get up anymore. It was still, wet, damp. And we've been running fans and so forth on them constantly. So it is now, I think, just down to damp. But we're ahead of it. Thank you very much. And it's raining there in Virginia. Good day to read and bead. Absolutely. Trying to get ready for a show on Saturday, so we'll probably be beading rather than reading. Oh, awesome. Where's it at? Sunny and low 80s. Oh, nice. Yeah, we've had that typical Montana weather where yesterday it snowed all morning and then was in the 40s in the afternoon. The perfect guy doesn't exist. Sophie Gonzalez. This is probably an adult by the cover. In this enemies to lovers, again, rom-com for fans of Ashley, blah, blah, blah. A fangirl brings her fictional heartthrob to life and finds that the real world might just be better than fiction. Ivy Winslow has the house to herself for a week, and her only plans are to binge watch her favorite fantasy TV show, H Mad, hang out with her best friend Henry, and avoid her former best friend turned enemy and neighbor Mac. But things go awry when Ivy wakes up one morning to find Weston, the gorgeous and very fictional main character of H Mad, in her bedroom, claiming to be her soulmate. Ivy's fanfic writing has somehow brought Weston as she's imagined him to life, but living out her fan fiction dreams isn't all it's cracked up to be. Her not so fictional crush is causing some major real world problems, and Ivy is desperate for help. To figure out why Weston is suddenly three-dimensional, she ropes Henry and a reluctant Mac into the chaos. As they spend more time together, Ivy and Mac are forced to deal with the fallout of their broken friendship and might just realize that they both want something more. Dot, 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 dot. Forget where you are, Deborah. Is it North Carolina? That is what tugs at my memory. Probably the wrong tug. Cover story by Rachel Lacey. Serves up a steamy tale of Hollywood fame and subterfuge about a glamorous actress and the sexy bodyguard posing as her girlfriend. Natalie Keene is one of Hollywood's top leading ladies, but she's paid a steep price for her fame. After she was stalked 8 years ago, the ensuing media frenzy almost broke her. So when a new threat arises, Natalie agrees to extra security, but she wants to keep it under wraps. The last thing she needs is another tabloid spectacle, especially during award season. Taylor Vaughn has made a career as a bodyguard to the stars, but an injury has kept her sidelined for the past 3 months, jeopardizing her future in the job she loves. When an opportunity arises to work for Natalie Keene, Taylor jumps at the chance, even before knowing the details of the assignment. From the moment they meet, Natalie knows this could work. Taylor, the bodyguard, masquerading as her girlfriend, the perfect cover story. But as circumstances push the two women closer, the lines between fantasy and reality begin to blur. The Trail of Lost Hearts, a novel by Tracy Garvis Graves. Oh, that's fun. Tracy Garvis Graves. 34-year-old Ren Waters believes that if you pay attention, the universe will send you exactly what you need. But her worldview shatters when the universe delivers two life-altering blows she didn't see coming, and all she wants to do is put the whole heartbreaking mess behind her. No one is more surprised than Ren when she discovers that geocaching, the outdoor activity of using GPS to look for hidden objects, is the only thing getting her out of bed and out of her head. She decides that a week-long solo quest geocaching in Oregon is exactly what she needs to take back control of her life. Enter Marshall Hendricks, a psychologist searching for distraction as he struggles with a life-altering blow of his own. Though Ren initially rebuffs Marshall's attempt at hiker small talk, she's beyond grateful when he rescues her from a horrifying encounter farther down the trail. In the interest of safety, Marshall suggests partnering up to look for additional caches. Wren's no longer quite so trusting of the universe or men in general, but her inner circle might argue that a smart, charismatic psychologist isn't the worst thing the universe could place in her path. What begins as a platonic road trip gradually blossoms into something deeper, and the more Wren learns about Marshall, the more she wants to know. Now all she can do is hope that the universe gets it right this time. Interesting concept. You don't see geocaching a whole lot, especially in a romance book. And the cover itself is a little out of the ordinary, too. I would be maybe interested in reading a sample to see more. Southeast Louisiana, just outside of New Orleans. Oh, very cool. See, it was the wrong tongue. No wonder you're in the 80s. Yes, after 2 weeks of on and off rain. I went to a book convention in New Orleans many years ago, and it was in October. It was BoucherCon for the biggest mystery convention. It was held in New Orleans that year. And I, of course, left my phone charger at home. So I had to go to a Radio Shack around the corner from the hotel to get one. And there were only two people in the store, the two employees. And I was saying, I'm from Montana. And they're like, oh, that's awesome. And tell us more. I was like, oh, there's no sales tax. So it's really shocking to come here. And oh, we'd love to go there. It'd be nice to live there with no sales tax and blah, blah, blah. And I said, and when it left this morning, it was 40 degrees. And they said, oh, hell no. uh, it was a nice place. It's a very nice place. The professor, a student, teacher, ex boyfriend's father, secret society romance. Okay, we don't need to read it now because there's all the. This is by Sky Warren, first in the Tanglewood University duology at this point. I don't really think students and teachers is sexy, but again, different generations. One night only with a handsome stranger, older, alluring, savage, dominant. No last names or expectations, just raw, carnal, filthy pleasure. I never thought I would see him again until the first day of class. He's my new professor and my ex-boyfriend's father. Ew. He has a world of secrets in his eyes and the weight of the world on his shoulders. I should stay away from him, but the more I try, the more consumed he gets. Blah, blah, blah. We're moving on. That is not love. Jennifer says I moved from Massachusetts after I graduated for a job and never left. Ah, Shades of Grey takeoff. Yeah, I read Shades of Grey. All right, this is where I left off when I was looking for stuff. Now there's a lot of Harlequins in here, which we can go back to. I just want to finish scanning for non-Harlequins. And then we can go back. A couple possibilities. Take a look at these three. Four. I also don't find the mob to be romantic. Yeah, we're going to run out of time. Let's start to look at some stuff. Okay. Susan Mallory. It is a Harlequin. We'll come back to that for a second. If the Tide Turns. A thrilling historical novel of piracy and life after the Salem witch trials. It was listed as a romance. 1715, love the time period. Uh, Eastham, Massachusetts. Massachusetts. As the daughter of a wealthy family, Maria Brown has a secure future mapped out for her, yet it's not the future she wants. Young, headstrong, and restless, Maria has no desire to marry the aging, mean spirited John Hallett, regardless of his fortune and her parents' wishes. As for what Maria does want, only one person has ever even asked her that question. Samuel Bellamy, an orphan sailor searching for work, meets Maria by chance. It could be Mariah, enthralling her with talk of far flung places and blasphemous ideals. But neither is free from the social order into which they were born. When Sam is banished from Mariah's parents' home after asking for her hand, he vows to return a wealthy man, and Mariah promises to keep the faith until then. Sam is drawn into piracy and discovers a brotherhood more equal and fulfilling than on any land. Yeah, criminals. Despite its dangers, beguiled by the chance to both fight for justice and make a fortune to bring home to Mariah, piracy isn't about justice. Sam is torn between duty to his crew and his desire to return. Separated by more than just the ocean, time slips by as Sam and Mariah cling to their love for each other. Mariah is determined to stay strong in her conviction in Sam, but as rumors swirl and her position in Eastham turns perilous, Mariah is forced into an impossible decision. Now on a journey no less treacherous and eventful than Sam's, Mariah draws on every shred of her courage and resilience, not merely to survive, but to honor her own yearning for freedom. If the tide turns, and I have to tell myself, it's fiction, let it go. Yeah. Manila takes Manhattan. We'll take a couple more minutes here. How do you follow your heart when it's in two places? Filipino musician and producer Mon Mendoza has been in New York for less than a day, just long enough to feel like he doesn't belong despite landing a life changing opportunity. All he can do is set a date night for just himself and some pants. I don't know how to say that. Pansy Canton? Which, as it turns out, is the only invitation his gorgeous Pinoy neighbor needs. Actress Olivia Angelis can wear a character like a well fitted dress. It's her real self she's having a hard time fitting into, craving a niche in Hollywood that doesn't compromise her identity in the name of success. And right now, all she wants is comfort in the form of tasty noodles and her outrageously hot new neighbor. One night, just enough to lose herself in his touch and the feel of his lips. Only their sexy little tryst isn't quite what they signed up for, because for the next month, Mon and Olivia are working on the same movie. Together. Now they're discovering they have a lot more in common than Pinoyness and is that it's now a word, and sizzling chemistry. But how do you find yourself and your person when you're caught between two different worlds? It's a pretty cover, and we have suddenly run out of time. Maya's Laws of Love. This one I felt was like a re-release, but I'm not sure. Night Lies by Sharon Sala. And One Dangerous Night, A Gambler's Romance by Kathy Maxwell. All right. Oh, no, not a commercial.
Grammarly now uses AI to help you write, not just revise. Type a prompt.
Thank you. All righty. Well, slim pickings today. Yeah, it was to me too. Thanks, though, for going through them. We go through them so you guys don't have to. Hope to see you both at Thunder Host Descendant. Have a great day, too. Thank you. You too. All right, guys. So tomorrow is sci-fi fantasy day. Hopefully, we'll have some things to look at there as well. Have a very good Wednesday. Read good books. I am about halfway through The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is the one set during Vietnam War. If you liked watching China Beach, the TV show back then, I did. I loved it. This is very much China Beach, and the personal growth of a very young, naive lady uh, nurse and going through the horrors of that war and so forth. And it's very, very good. I do recommend it. Have a good Wednesday. No sprints tonight. I do them on Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. But hope to see you soon. And as the matter says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.